When the Open Series actually kind of started, before I think we even called it the Open Series, it was kind of the 5K or 10K series for Star City Games. He, along with Alex Bertoncini, Edgar Flores, Jerry Thompson, AJ Soccer, Chris Van Meter, and some others who I'm probably forgetting, were all kind of making the chase for level 8 when that was a player reward thing. You could achieve level 8, and then you get you get 4x of the new set that came out as a result of having that status. And he was one of the players who began actually traveling around for events. So we haven't seen him for a while, but he is back here in Dallas playing, and he's sitting at 5-1.
Yeah, doing pretty well today. So the mono black aggro versus mono red aggro. These are two triple 1-drop balls to the wall aggro decks. Kaider being able to go first by playing that Rakdos Cackler. He'll have the advantage here, but both these decks are pretty much just going to be smashing into each other is what I would think.
This isn't the first time we've seen Kaider Sheen. We saw him a little bit earlier today. He's playing mono black aggro, a deck that we talked about a decent amount as the Cackler does come into the red zone here. It's definitely going to get a little bit better with the addition of Gnarled Scarhide from Journey and Nyx, but it's off to a nice start here. Cackler into Thrill Kill Assassin. That's going to be unleashed as well, so a little 2-3 Death Touch, and we can't ignore that Mutavault that's back there either.
Well, as is the Guild of Rakdos. His creatures are only doing one thing, and that's attacking right now. So he has 2 on the board. We'll see what creatures Aaron has to respond with. He didn't have a 1-drop, though, which does not bode well for him in this matchup.
His hand is very, very land heavy. He did just pick up a copy of Burning Tree Emissary, so that might be able to help out here. It's going to give him a free 2-2. But the thing about this kind of matchup, I have found, it's the person who stops attacking is the one that loses.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever played, well, Rakdos Mirrors Unlimited, it's, the creatures only do one thing, and that's attack.
Yeah, it's all about the beatdowns. Gorehouse Chainwalker is going to come into play unleashed right now, along with those 2 copies of Burning Tree Emissary, so pass the turn back. That one won't be blocking, but I think chances are at least one of these Burning Tree Emissaries will be blocking.
Yeah, well, as you know, on a mono-red aggro deck, if they didn't keep a 1-drop, you should expect at least 1 Burning Tree Emissary on turn 2. Aaron had 2 of them.
So we'll see what Sheen does have for his 3rd turn. He starts with a Swamp.
Yeah, he's got a Pain Seer right now, but more interestingly, he has a Mogus's Marauder in his hand. That card's pretty important in this matchup with the Intimidate. I'm wondering how much damage he's going to try to milk that card for. Right now, he could swing for, well, actually, giving it to Cackler doesn't do anything. He could push 4 damage through very easily.
Yeah.
But if he can save it for later, he has the potential to do a lot more.
Looks like Cackler is going to offer up a trade here with Burning Tree Emissary, and then Thrill Kill will come across. We could see a double block on Thrill Kill Assassin with both Burning Tree Emissaries, but that's probably not the ideal play.
It looks like Wayne has, looks like some Mutavaults and some Mountains. So if that's the case, he's going to have to make some sort of trade here. He's really not the faster aggro deck on this game.
Yeah, that's exactly what his hand is, 2 Mutavaults and 2 Mountains, and he's actually just going to take the 4 points of damage, thinking, okay, I need these resources to be able to get the job done here, so we'll see what Sheen can actually add to the board here in just a moment. It looks like that might be that Pain Seer that you did mention.
Yeah, he's going to try to race, and that is an ambitious proposition, especially just with the Mutavaults. But yeah, he's going to go for it. We see...
We think.
Sheen deciding, I think, between Pain Seer and... It can't be between Pain Seer and... He's going to... Yeah,
it's a Herald of Torment. Okay.
Herald huge here. It's, as a 3/3, it stops Aaron's attacks right in their tracks.
Yeah, the only thing that can really come across here is the Chainwalker, and you can argue how appealing that play even is here is a Mutavault for Wayne on his 3rd turn to start things off.
Yeah, Herald of Torment to me seems really important in this matchup when both decks are just full of 2x attackers, 2-power attackers. This 3/3 is just real big.
So Sheen's going to take, looks like 3 points of damage. He's going to go down to 17, 16 from the Herald trigger on his turn, as this is a Rakdos Cackler. We'll see if that's going to be unleashed, and it looks like it is going to be here for Aaron Wayne. So does pass that back. Does the first ever Open Series champion on the left. Sheen's going to untap. Again, he'll take 1 from the Herald. He's going to go down to 16, but he is definitely in the driver's seat right now, especially with Mogus Marauder in his hand.
Right, and we see Spiteful Returned drawn now. So he has, Mogus' Marauder, Spiteful Return, Pain Seer, that Mutavault in play. And he's ahead in the race right now. Things are looking good for Kaider.
Yeah, the card that really makes it tough is the Mogus Marauder. That's the one that might be the nail in the old coffin there, just because that card is just a falter. Just lets you get in for points of damage, and plus the thing is a 2/1 that has haste too. So you got to really love that card in this aggressive black style of deck.
Yeah, so a full swing right now from Sheen. The Cackler will go ahead and trade with Burning Tree Emissary, but that'll put 5 damage through. There actually is more power right now on Wayne's side of the board But I still like Sheen's position as he's really able to control the pace of this game.
Yeah.
He gets to decide when people stop attacking and when they start attacking. So as long as he can make that decision correctly, things should favor him.
Yep. So you see Sheen going to try to figure out what to do here in the second main phase. He's tapping 3 mana again. This could be another copy of Herald of Torment, potentially. Again, we know about the Pains here. We know about the Marauder. So it looks like he's probably going to have something to do. You see Wayne there waiting patiently for his turn. Again, he's just looking at a couple of lands and a Mutavault over there, so nothing really crazy, just 3 cards in his hand. And Sheen goes a reach in. Still just really pretty unsure of himself. Going to go with the Pains here.
All right.
Just pass it back.
And to me, Painseer here is really just there to trade.
I wouldn't be surprised if Painseer isn't even interested in blocking, for example.
Because it's 9 damage exactly next turn.
Yeah. That's what I think the line will be. And the interesting thing about Intimidate is that Intimidate, you can be blocked by creatures of the same color, or I believe artifact creatures, but Mutavault actually can't get in
So
front.
the idea is that creatures are not scared of their own kind, and of course, robots don't get scared of anything.
That's correct.
But colors things, yeah, you can scare them off.
Yeah, which is a little bit strange, but that is the case here, as Wayne's going to fire up a Mutavault
Well,
here.
they're not robots; they still have emotions. You see,
Yeah,
if you make a really big boogly face at them, they won't want to block you.
Yeah, you tell me about the emotions of a Mutavault.
Well, it's got a lot of different ones because it's so many different things at the same time.
That's
true.
It's
quite complicated.
Is everybody coming in the red zone here? Wow, Oh, I said if you don't, the
Well-
first person to stop attacking loses.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that there's 9 power on Sheen's side of the board by itself, if you count that Mutavault. So I would assume Wayne has a blocker or has a removal spell or something.
Yeah. So there's your attack: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sheen at 16. If he takes all this damage, he would go down to 7. Looks like he's considering blocking right now, though.
Yeah, that will take away his lethal attack. I almost feel like if I'm Sheen here, last turn, I don't swing the Herald, I just swing the Thrill Kill. Like I said, he gets to control the pace of this race. And because he has so many cards in hand, I feel like if he slows it down, it favors him.
Yep. Looks like Sheen's going to take it all. He thought about blocking with Pains here. Now he's not going to. He's going to go down to 7. The follow-up play is going to be a Foundry Street Denizen. And that is going to do it for Wayne's turn. So Sheen is going to take 1 from the Herald. He's going to go down to 6. And then we're going to take a draw here in just a moment. And assuming that he does have Mogus Marauder in his hand, which we're fairly confident he does, and he decides to send it all,
Yeah, he can push it
that'll
through.
do it.
Shock will get him. And there
Yep.
are 4 shocks in Wayne's deck.
A shock would be brutal.
Yeah, it would win the game. The question is, can Sheen actually play around shock now?
I don't think so.
Doesn't look like it.
I think the die has been cast, as my good friend Patrick Sullivan would say.
All right, show him the shock. That's 9 power of intimidating, scary, attacking creatures, exactly at Wayne's life total. Will that work, or will one of them take 2?
Aaron Wayne going to consult
And
his hand.
looks like it's 2 mountains.
Yep, that's going to do it. So, Kaider Sheen is going to win game number 1 here with Mono Black Aggro, up a game over the first Open Series champion of all time, Aaron Wayne, playing Mono Red Aggro.
Yeah, so Wayne was playing around the board there because the 9 power that was on the board involved Mutavault, so the Foundry Street Denizen as chump blocking would be enough to just keep him alive. Mogus' Marauder did change the equation, and game 1 goes to Kaider Sheen.
We'll take a look at the sideboards here. We will begin with Aaron Wayne. He's got 3 Boros Reckoners, a Skullcrack, 2 copies of Hammer, Porphyros, an Act of Treason, 3 Flames of the Firebrand, 2 Missing Mortars, and 3 Peak Eruptions. What do you like there?
Well, I think you said it all in the moment you read the card. 3 Flames of the Firebrand figures to be pretty good against a deck that's attacking with a bunch of 2/1s,
Yeah.
which is what Mono Black Aggro does. That card's great in the matchup. Normally in these like small aggro mirrors, what's more important is that you're just slightly bigger than what your opponent's trying to do. If your opponent is playing 2/2s, you want to play 2 3s. If your opponent, in this situation, you saw like Herald of Torment was so good. Well, if you want to get slightly bigger than Herald of Torment, the best way to do it is for Mono Red to play cards like Boros Reckoners. I imagine we'll see some of him as well. So he has 3 Reckoners, 3 Flames of the Firebrand, possibly a couple Mizium Mortars, but if I were actually him, I'd probably leave those out. Just go ahead and port in those 6. Keep them. You don't want to dilute your creatures too much in the matchup.
Other side of things here for Sheen, 4 Thoughtseize, 2 Doomblade, 3 Lifebane Zombie, 3 Dark Betrayal, 2 Devour Flesh, and Erebos, God of the Dead. Not a lot, it seems.
No, not a lot for the matchup. Looks like he's really skewed to try to beat some of the control decks.
Yep.
If he wants to, he can play cards like Doomblaid. Doomblade's only somewhat good in this matchup because Doomblade probably costs more than the creature you're killing it with because there's so many 1-drops in the red deck. And I feel like that's kind of the benchmark for removal spells. You want to be paying equal to or less than the creature you're killing. And I'm not sure that's actually going to happen. So I think he replaces Hero's Downfalls
That's
with
what I was
Doomblades.
going to say,
Yeah,
yeah.
because why not? It's cheaper.
Do you like the versatility of Devour Flesh here? You could actually sideboard out the 4 Downfalls for just 2 Doomblades, 2 Devour Fleshes, and call it a day.
Well, that's a close call because you actually are racing here. So Devour Flesh has a little bit of a drawback. I think I still agree, though. Between Mutavault activations and playing some of the more expensive spells, I think I just want to lower my curve if I was Sheen. So yeah, I think you just cheapen up your removal spells and basically stay with the main deck plan.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you can actually target yourself with a Devour Flesh could actually be a game-winning play.
It could potentially be game-winning. That said, at post-board, I really like where Aaron Wayne is situated. I think he's a favorite.
Yeah, I think things get much, much better for him. Going to be boarding in more cards. All the cards that he's boarding in are very high impact between Boros Reckoner and Flames of the Firebrand. And that's what you look for in a sideboard card. High impact.
And even though Mono Black is a slightly bigger aggro deck, its creatures that are big don't block. So, it does have 2/3s, but this 2/3 is, the Thrill Kill Assassin, which he actually can't block as a 2/3. He can trade as a 1/2. That's fine, but unexciting. All his other creatures, are about the same size. His other big creature, Herald of Torment, does continue to deal damage to him if he keeps it on the defensive. I don't think either player is particularly positioned to be on the defensive.
Yeah, no, this one's all about just attacking. It really reminds me a lot of the Zombies mirror from a little while ago of just, that deck can't block. So you can't try to play a defensive role or anything of that nature. It's just keep attacking. Just pedal to the metal. Hopefully they die in an appropriate amount of time and you can finish them off. And I feel like that's exactly what's happening here, where the first person who is, stops attacking is probably the person that's losing. I think you just have to keep going.
Think about all these cards that they have, which are good at attacking but bad at blocking. On Aaron Wayne's side of the board, he has Rakdos Cackler, Foundry Street Denizen, Firefist Striker. These are all Gorehouse Chainwalker even. These are like 16 creatures that are great attackers and mediocre blockers. And Sheen has just about the same number. He has Spiteful Returned, Rakdos Cackler, Thrill Kill Assassin. I think that's it for the ones that are just pitiful at blocking.
Yeah, you can even argue that the one Desecration Demon isn't the best blocker just because the opponent gets to control it.
Actually, Mogus's Marauder is a pretty bad blocker.
Yeah,
it's gray
3-mana 2/1.
Yeah.
Is it 2/2 or 2/1?
2/2.
Oh, 2/2, okay. Yeah, this is the matchup where, you don't get to play the defensive role. It's not like you're working towards, some gigantic creature that'll eventually win the game. You both have a bunch of just lame dorks, and hopefully you're able to get the job done.
Yeah, Boros Reckoner does let Wayne attempt to play that game plan. However, if you look at the removal that Sheen has, he does play Bioblight. As we're going to see here, Downfall, Doomblade, Devour Flesh. Well, Devour Flesh probably won't hit a Reckoner, but the other ones definitely would.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. He has to kind of pick and choose the spots with ultimate price because there are some multicolored creatures here. You mentioned Reckoner along with Cackler and then the Burning Emissary. So, he doesn't get to kill whatever he wants to with that particular removal spell.
Right.
But there are still plenty of targets, so it's going to stay in his deck, I would assume.
Yeah, there's interesting interactions also. For example, if you can't really give Rakdos Cackler Intimidate, that doesn't do anything in the matchup. We saw that on the board last time, actually, was something that came up. So there are interesting interactions here. You see, it looks like Aaron Wayne's on a 6-card hand. That doesn't seem too bad in this matchup. As long as he has that good curve, I don't think being down 1 card is going to make or break it.
Yeah, you just have to knock him over as fast as you can. Even if you're down a card on the play and he does not look very thrilled with this hand. Looks like he may be keeping, however.
Well, if it's got a Flames of the Firebrand in it, that's fine then. That card will be a lot of mileage for Aaron Wayne. And we see he does have one.
And there's a Cackler on the other side, so both are unleashed, both are interested in attacking, and that's all.
Yeah, it looks like Aaron, wow.
That was a big draw.
That's a huge draw. He has, I think we're going to see Burning Emissary into Firefist Striker.
Yep.
So talking about blocking, even if Kaider Sheen wanted to block, 1, Rakdos Cackler can't, and 2, Firefist Striker probably means it so the other guy can't also.
And there is your Emissary. Trigger, play a Firefist Striker, pass the turn back, 3 creatures by turn 2. And now Sheen is really, really on the back foot here. And if Wayne draws a land,
it's done.
Yeah.
Wayne's remaining cards are Chandra's Phoenix and Flames of the Firebrand. If he can curve into that Flames, I just don't see Kaider Sheen recovering from it.
See Kaider's hand. Is that a Spiteful Return he's considering casting? Because, boy, Flames would be really good then.
Yeah, Painseer and Spiteful Return are the 2 cards in Sheen's hand. I mean, I don't think it particularly matters which one you cast. I think if you're just playing Durace, I think you play Spiteful Return. It does more damage.
Yeah, I agree with you in that regard. Yeah, if you're just full-blown racing in this situation, because, like, whatever creature you play can't block anyway,
right?
You want to just play the one that's going to deal the most damage.
Not to mention, Painseer might deal damage to you, and that's just something you don't want at all. And I don't think he hit land 3, so Sheen still gets to play.
Firefish Striker's Battalion ability going to target the Painseer, so 6 damage is going to come across. Sheen going to go down to 12. We'll see if Wayne actually picked up something that he can cast, however, and it looks like he did. It's going to be a copy of Gorehouse Chainwalker. Unleash that past the turn back.
All right, so no 3rd land. Kaider. The thing is that you can almost determine who's winning in terms of number of spells cast. So, like, it's not about cards in hand. It's somewhat about life totals. Right now, you could say, like, Aaron's up 4-2. You know, so Aaron missing that land drop hurts because it's possible Kaider could tie it up 4-4 on spells cast. But if he only has 1 spell here, then the advantage is still on Wayne's side.
Thrill-Kill Assassin going to come in here. Probably just have to unleash this, too, because, again, that's not going to get the opportunity to block.
It's not blocking anyway. Firefish Striker has enough to say about that.
It might as well just be unleashed already.
Actually, I'm wondering on Sheen's side, if your opponent misses that land drop, whether or not you want to leave back your Painseer. You know, because if your opponent's missed their land drop, like I said, think about the game in terms of number of spells. Right now, Aaron Wayne's winning 4-3. Given enough time, Kaider Sheen should be able to pull ahead in that race because he has more lands. You know, his opponent's stuck on lands. Like, Aaron will probably only play 1 spell a turn. And once Sheen gets up to 4 lands, he'll probably play 2. So I think Sheen would want to put on the brakes here.
At least try.
Yeah, well, if you build up 2 creatures, then if Aaron Wayne wants to attack with Firefish Striker, he's going to lose it. As we see, the 3rd land on Aaron's side of the board is going to be brutal.
Yeah, I believe that should be lethal, right? Because Thrill-Kill Assassin doesn't get to block. He only has 1 black mana available, which doesn't represent anything. So you get an attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 3 from Flames.
Face.
Yeah.
He's just dead.
Yeah, we'll see if Wayne realizes that, because I wouldn't be surprised if he just plays Enchantress Phoenix in this situation either. Like, he's casting one of his 3-mana spells. One of his lethal, one of them puts him down to 1. He's going to take his time here. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes to the appropriate play.
You can put your opponent down to 1 with a Painseer about to untap.
Yeah, there's
like
that too.
It's everybody comes in. Thrill-Kill really can't block.
Yeah, for so many reasons.
So many reasons can't block.
Yeah, and now he's taking a look at the Flames of the Firebrand.
Well, don't
You.
Yep. Well, and I almost wonder if you're Wayne, if you just don't want to show that card.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think, a little bit of merit to that. To just holding back on it. You play the Phoenix, put him down to 1, and then there's a chance that either A, Painseer kills him, or 2, you're just going to win the next turn anyway because Sheen can't deal enough damage the following turn.
I don't think the odds of Sheen 14ing you next turn, I think, are 0.
I actually think it's impossible.
Yeah, I think it's impossible. So in that situation, I think you want to wait. You want to not show him Flames. Because Flames is actually the kind of card that now that Kaider Sheen knows about it, he actually can play around it.
Yeah, he can deploy his threats in a certain way now.
Right. You know, like it's like he was deciding between Spiteful Return and Painseer that turn. Certainly now in the same situation, I have to think he'll pick Painseer.
Yep. I agree with you 100%. If he's going to lead off with Tormented Hero or a different 1-drop, he'll lead off with a different 1-drop, presumably, as well.
Yeah,
So
you have to avoid that 1+2, that 1 and 2 situation.
Because if you get 2 for 1 by Flames, I feel like you're going to lose almost immediately.
Yeah, I mean, look how fast these games are going. If you on the first 3 turns, each player commits 2 or 3 creatures, and then on turn 3, Aaron kills 2 of Kaider's. That's all right.
Yeah.
The board is now decisively in his favor.
You see, Wayne's going to go back to his sideboard and take a look. Sheen is already shuffling up. He's ready and happy with this configuration here for game number 3 between these 2 players. And if you guys are just joining us at home, we do appreciate it. Cedric Phillips, Matthias Hunt, StarCityGames.com Open Series here in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. At SCG Live, hashtag SCGDAL for your tweets. I know some people, they chimed in talking about infinite combos for Sage of Hours.
This was exciting. Okay, so what we miss is Vorel of the Hallclade apparently is also something you can do with it if you want to get really cute. That is the legendary Simic card from Dragon's Maze that doubles number of 1/1 counters when they're placed on something.
Yep.
Well, that's pretty exciting, I would think. Or it taps to do it, I believe.
I believe it taps to do it. We
can
bring Vorel just to make sure.
Vorel taps to do it. So if you can double the number of counters on the Sage, then you could take quite a few turns.
Yeah, that's the issue, right?
That's why they were saying you need to remove all the counters, because otherwise that is a combo.
Yeah, if you're able to leave some on there. That's going to be the big issue. There you do see Varel. For each counter on target artifact, creature, or land, put another of those counters on that permanent.
I mean, you'd get 5 on it, and then you double it to 10, remove 5, double it to 10, remove 5.
Sure.
It'd be really fun.
That seems like it would be really hard to lose.
Yeah, you'd win.
A lot of people pointing that out. And some people saying, what if you mix it with Arcbound Ravager, which is kind of cute, but you can only modular onto
other robots.
The idea
is that it's kind of like, Terminator sort of things, where like like those sci-fi robot movies where they break apart the robot and then the pieces like reassemble onto a different robot. It's kind of like that. That's what modular is. You're not grafting them onto something. It's another robot's picking them up and attaching them to himself.
I like the flavor. I do. Some people mentioning a Johnny plus doubling season. That's
doubling season combos with approximately 100 things.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. Maybe one day doubling season will be a powerhouse in competitive Magic. It's definitely a sweet card. One of the most fun cards ever printed.
I like the combo of Jace Architect of Thought plus doubling season, where you alt Jace to get Jace and something from their deck, and then you immediately alt that Jace to get another card from their deck and another one Jace, and then you alt him again. So he comes into play.
Wow. Yeah, it comes into play with 8 things on it.
Yeah, you just keep you alt all 4 Jaces out of your own deck, and you just like take 3 of their spells.
That's the most adorable thing I've ever heard.
I know, it's cool, right? Jace plus doubling season.
Yeah, that is.
Dude, if you're gonna play combo, you have to know about the good ones and the bad ones.
That is totes adorbs, bro. I must tell you, that is totes adorbs. That is something I'm never gonna do, but I must give it to you. You know all of the combos.
Just go to any message board where people post combos and just read all of them, and you'll be like, wow, I never knew there were so many combos in Magic. A lot of these are full of like unplayable cards. I mean, there's approximately like 10,000 combos involved Intruder Alarm, for example.
Yeah.
Like that card pretty much combos with everything.
Just the world's most confusing card.
Oh, I mean, it's just all it does is combos with things.
Yeah. No interest in that card actually playing some fair Magic. Now we just see a Swamp on turn 1. So will Wayne be able to steal the initiative back? And as we mentioned, if he doesn't have a 1-drop, that means he's got 2 things to do on turn 2, most likely.
Yeah. Sheen can't do that, however. He's not playing Bring Cheer Emissary. So if we do the spell count game on Sheen's side of the board, if you don't have a 1-drop on his side, then he's going to go 0 spells to 1 spell to 2 spells to 3 spells.
Yep.
That's awfully slow. Wayne will probably be faster than that. So right now, 1 spell for Sheen, and we'll see how many for Wayne. It's 1.
I like the thought process behind the spell count
2.
game. I actually think that's really smart to figure out who's going to win.
I mean, everything trades, right? So it's whoever has more stuff is probably winning, because if you ever, everything's the same.
Yeah, that just makes the most sense.
Everything's a 2/2, more or less.
Here's a Hero's Downfall taking the Brain Tree Emissary, and that's
another
super
trade.
efficient. Yeah.
It's another card traded with another card. Surprise.
And here comes the Pain Seer, and while getting a 2 points of damage is really good, I can actually make the argument the chance to draw a card is really good too, but our card's actually worth life in this particular matchup.
If you have enough removal that people start running out of cards, or if you're way into trading, well, then eventually the cards in your hand will matter. But we're not at that point yet.
Okay.
Extra cards gives you some flexibility over which cards to play. So maybe it increases your odds of casting 2 spells in a turn, or maybe it lets you cast a card that's really good in a situation. But the damage may not even be worth it.
Well, let's see what Wayne wants to do on this turn. It's pretty easy to just say attack here with the Chainwalker.
Yeah,
don't know what the follow-up's
He's got Mizium Mortars, a Fire Fist Striker, Lightning Strike.
Has no interest in letting Pain Seer draw cards, so now we're going to see players actually use removal to take care of creatures.
Yep, so like I said, kind of, another card that traded for another card.
Yep.
So everything's trading right now. Wayne has cast 3, Sheen has cast 2. And that's the reason that Sheen's the one taking damage.
Oh, looks like we have another Pain Seer here, potentially.
Yeah, he has another Pain Seer, another Hero's Downfall, and then 1 remaining card in his hand.
And you can kind of see the problem with Hero's Downfall in this matchup, as we kind of mentioned during sideboarding. 3 mana to take care of almost any creature of Wayne's is just super inefficient.
It costs more than what Wayne's paying for the creature.
Yep.
And Wayne has some virtual threats here. Mutavaults are pretty sweet in this matchup.
There's a Goblin Shortcutter, so Pain Seer, you're not allowed to block. You're going to fire from Mutavault too, maybe?
Ooh, we're going to play something.
It's a Firefish Striker.
Well, he's not getting in there this turn. But I like that what Wayne is doing, instead of getting 2 damage, if you think about this in terms of spell count, this is exactly what Wayne is supposed to be doing.
Yep. That's just 5 spells now.
I will play more things than you. Guy.
What is this 5 mana?
It is the Bestowing Herald of Torment. So normally this would be if you want to be a defensive player, this would be a great play. I actually think that Bestowing Herald of Torment here is worse than just casting it on 3 mana. because like it can't block, right? There's a Fire Fist Striker.
Sure.
So you can't become a wall with it, and it's not winning the race. Like Wayne has 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 power worth of damage
infinite
here.
damage, yeah.
Like that's not like you're tapped out into 11 power worth of creatures. You're going to 3
Picked up a Flames of
against
Fire
5
Man.
creatures. Like how are you gonna not? Aaron Wayne's gonna put him to 3, and like how is Sheen gonna survive the next turn?
Yeah, it's not like he can slow down.
No, I mean, first of all, he's going to go to 2 on his upkeep thanks to Herald of Torment. And so we'll have to block all 5 of Wayne's creatures.
We also haven't mentioned the Pain Seer trigger.
Oh, yeah, that could just kill him.
Yeah, that's the thing that could happen, that he could just die in just a moment's notice here. So
Yeah, I think the mode thing he did with the Herald of Torment is something I even see in Limited a lot of the time, where like you think, oh, hey, bestowing, it costs more, so it's the good mode. But you have to like, there's a lot of board states where bestowing, like where you'd rather have a creature than an aura. Especially if your guy's never going to die, you're just playing an aura. And creatures are often better than auras.
Yeah, those Mutavaults are coming up now. So here's an attack for 2, 4, 7, 9, 10, 11. Sheen kind of shrugs his shoulders and says, yeah, I'm going to 3. Am I dead? The answer is no.
Probably.
Well, the answer is no for now. Harold's going to put you down to 2, and then we'll see what Pain Seer is going to show up.
Yeah, and remember, if he can't forget the trigger, Wayne can politely remind him that he would like to resolve the trigger.
Don't forget this. That's why you're playing
Please, draw a card.
Yes, I don't mind at all.
Down to 2, and is that going to kill him? And
Boom,
boom,
well,
he's
it's a
gone.
Bile Blight. That's going to do it. Aaron Wayne has shell-shocked Kaider Sheen. Wins this match 2-1. And our first Open Series champion is ready to be fed some more. Mono Red getting the job done.
Yeah, an interesting matchup here. So I haven't seen this matchup before. And I'm going to go ahead and go. Here's going to be like kind of my take on the matchup, is that I think Mono Red is favored because it has Burning Tree Emissary.
I think that's the exact reason that it's favored.
Right, because it can play stuff faster.
Yes.
Because Burning Tree Emissary costs 0.
I think that's that's the exact card that changes this matchup in favor of Mono Red as opposed to Mono Black. Bolt Extra Terrible blocking, so it's whoever casts the most spells is going to win the game.
Right.
And in this particular situation, it was Mono Red aggro that got the job done because they have Burning Tree.
Yeah, so they can play 4 spells in the first 2 turns. Like Mono Black cannot do that. It can't really. It's lucky if it plays 3 spells in the first 2 turns.
Yeah. Now, of course, if they are able to go 1-drop and then 1-drop or something like that, but that's hard for them to do.
Right,
because they only have 8 1-drops.
They only have 8 1-drops. That's really, yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to be very fortunate to have that draw where, again, that's not very difficult for the mono red deck to do. Just go, okay, 1-drop, Burning Tree Emissary plus something, or just 1-drop plus 1-drop.
Yeah,
it's so much easier for them.
First of all, he plays the same number of 1-drops. So he naturally triple 1, makes 3 creatures as often as the black deck. But that's not even counting all the Burning Tree games.
Yeah. So Mono Red aggro, take it down, defeats Mono Black aggro. Aaron Wayne, first Open Series champion of all time, moves on to 6-1 here in Dallas. I believe we're going to be working our way towards just another match in just a second. We'll bring it back.